Oh, hello. Last one in this series. This is just called Crito 2 or Crito Part 2. And the question is what is the good life? Socrates says the good life is a just and honorable life. So, as a society, if we don't have justice, then essentially we get what we deserve as a whole. We've earned this. So if we don't have justice, if we don't have fairness, then that's not the good life. And so he kind of takes, at least in my opinion, he kind of takes all of these other dialogues that I just barely touched upon, and he puts them into what's a good life. So we started off with Crito, and in Crito, who are you going to listen to? And then we moved to Phaedo. Would a true philosopher regret death when it came? The third one, oh geez, what was the third one? Oh, Protagoras. And Protagoras is carrying a separate vessel. Go to someone wise. Go to those who you trust when you need guidance. Okay. And then Crito 2 essentially puts them all together and talks about like what's the good life. And what's really funny about this, from what I remember, is, I'll say, what do you want? What do you want? And I might have someone say, I want a job. And I would be defiant. I'd say, no, you don't. You want a good job. Well, I want friends. No, you don't. You want good friends, virtuous friends, honorable friends, somebody who's going to have your back. I want a relationship. No, you don't. You want a good relationship, one that's honorable and virtuous. Yes? And so he talks about a lot of things in Crito 2. One of them is you can't ever get justice by seeking revenge, ever. And one example that I like to show in class is that of Larry Nassar, who was the Olympics gymnastics coach, who sexually abused hundreds and hundreds of women. Anyway, there is a video, and you can just look this up if you're curious or interested, of a dad who went to the court to hear Nassar's plea. And he asked the judge a favor, and he says, just give me 5 minutes with him. This passionate dad of his daughter, and he says, just give me 5 minutes in the back room with him. And of course the judge says, you know I can't do that. And he dramatically launches over his stand and just charges him, goes after him, and of course gets taken down and arrested. And it's a good conversation to have, because it's like, is that justice? To feel anger towards someone who's violated your daughter is warrant for anger, for sure. But is it just? Is justice ensured in a case like that? And so, as you might think, a lot of students, and you might too, think that that is justice. Just beat the hell out of him. And he was arrested. And then what happened later was that video went out, and people started contributing to sexual abuse victims, and really standing up and being part of something greater. So I bring that up just because in Crito 2 he talks about revenge. And even though we want revenge, if it's not just, we cannot go ahead with a good life, because that's not it. It hurts us. And so I think that's kind of the biggest thing with Crito 2. And the last thing that I think is really striking in Crito 2, to kind of pull it all together, is he says, think not life and children first, and justice afterwards. Think of justice first, and that you might be justified before the princes and the world below. For neither of you, anyway, he goes on, and what I get from this is, if we don't establish justice first, we can't ever have justice in the school system. I mean, that's how I put the pieces of the puzzle together, because he talks about children, and we talk about children's safety and their well-being, but their physical well-being, and I think which is important, of course, but I think what he's also talking about is we need to be careful, and if we don't have a foundation of justice, we can't ever really have the good life. Nobody can. And the good life being the virtuous life. Okay, more to come.